Record now. Coolio. You're gonna have a random video of me practicing recording. Hi. Hi. Hey Kota. Hey. Hey. Hey people. Hey.
Yo.
Being weird with camera. Okay, this is Jenna. She's kind of freaking out right now. She's cosplaying as Ito because I thought there's only one picture.
Okay, I'll explain it later. Not important right now.
That's Jenna. I'm Ashley. That's Dakota.
We're gonna play explaining the Epic of Zektbach.
This is Zektbach 101.
Yep. Okay, so who is Zektbach? Zektbach is Tomosuke Funaki. He composes all this music, and he goes by the name Zektbach for his songs for the Vimani games like Beatmania and Pop Music. They actually have some in the arcade.
Yep, because I just came from there.
Beatmania's.
Pretty fun games.
And so the story's told in a lot of different ways through the music, and then there's also PBs, which have a lot of them art by Maya Takamura, and there's an OVA from one of the stories. There's drama CDs. There's like little booklets with information. There's written stories, so it's lots of different things.
Yeah, so if someone asks you like if I say to someone, hey, do you know the series Zektbach? They'll say, oh, like where can I watch it at? It's not like a straightforward series that you can just go and find Zektbach episode 1. No.
No.
It does not work like that.
Let me guess, you actually gotta do some hardcore looking.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Amazon, eBay, here I come.
Yeah.
Craigslist, maybe.
So now I'm gonna start like going through the story, and we're gonna start with the
overview of the
Pistachia.
If someone can turn the lights off, that would be very dandy. They can catch this on camera.
Where are the lights now?
I have the DVDs.
So as we wait for the lights to be dimmed, dim.
I have my DVDs. You can use these.
It worked earlier.
Here, how's this better?
Just dim them. If you darken them, it's gonna come off with a horrible. Thank you.
Here, I'll just put in my DVD. No problem.
You can do it. Believing in you.
Shut up, phone.
Wait, that was your
don't
phone?
That'd be creepy.
What? No, it's not, Ashley.
No,
Remember?
like if it's just a little girl's voice, like what if someone texts you in the middle of the night and also you wake up to this little girl talking to you? You're like,
Hey,
Ashley, you're one to talk. You said you wanted those C2 voice recordings. Jeez, Mal.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm just as bad. I want Sebastian's.
I'm not more chainsaw black.
This is just actually one of the DVDs that they have of it.
There's 3 albums, like big album things. So like,
Right now,
they
I
have,
still
like,
can't read
the
anything
CD with
because
like a bunch
everything
of
is in
music on it,
Japanese.
and then a DVD with PBs. And there's like the special
Konami.
Tiny booklets. These are her babies. She will not let anyone touch them.
Okay, good music list. Foreign stuff. Okay, there's Pistachia. And this pretty much covers the prologue and sort of overview of the whole story.
even though you can't see it on camera.
Pretty good overview.
Yeah. There's a lot of killing.
There is quite a bit of killing.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to explain it?
Okay, so basically I'm explaining like the whole backstory and like prologue of the whole story.
Okay.
So the Epic of Zektbach, it takes place on this world called Area Talaria.
Awesome.
And a long time ago, in this world, Area Talaria, there were 8 races, and they had pretty much no will, no emotions. They like didn't even really know of one another. And then everything changes when they find the Restacia in these ruins.
Which is that little purple gem up in the corner.
Or like reddish.
That's it.
Okay, in the translation, there is the word qualia, and which is awesome because it's also the name of one of my favorite songs, my favorite band, so yes. Qualia means pretty much feelings that can't be explained in words.
They had
So-
no qualia.
Oh, that's like
what I'm
love.
saying, like,
You
they
can't
had no
explain
qualia.
love.
You know, like, it's kind of like explaining how you see the color blue. It's like, well, you see
Explain
blue.
that to a blind
Explain it.
person.
Exactly. So
You can explain black, but you are going to
it's
be
like,
painfully
it's not
hurt.
just like happy, sad, frustration, and that. It's like you just. Now go.
That's like
Yeah,
trying to
they have
describe
this
love.
Until they find the Restacia, and it pretty much changes them so they become aware of the world around them, and they gain emotions, and they become aware of one another. And so they split the Restacia into 8 pieces, one to each one of the races.
Hence the
Okay.
hands in the picture.
Yeah. But then they know one another, and they start to build grudges, and they want each other's pieces, and there's a huge war called the Restacia War, and all but 2 of the races get killed off in the Restacia War. Like this memeplex and seal themselves up, so they pretty much disappear in the world.
They were basically geniuses, and they
Oh, it's like the
They're
wise old
memeplex
owl
called
and
Sigma.
Avatar.
They like
Spread
combine
off.
together to create one entity called Sigma.
he watches over the main place.
Himino spread all over. And now I'm going in order, so it's the chapters that kind of
Yeah, this
out of
isn't
order.
in order by chapter, it's in order by timeline.
So the earliest that takes place is Kagachijin. So
That's not
are we gonna have to play another?
Well, we can't really see it on this camera, so
Okay.
we're going to stare at your
do you want
faces.
to turn the lights up brighter? Or can you see stuff?
Like, I can see stuff, like, especially if it's flashing white screen.
I guess I can.
I can see.
I
Your
can
name
turn
was
the lights
Dakota,
up.
right? Dakota, like the.
Kagachijin.
Wait, is that a state in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Dakota's a state, right?
Okay, next BB's playing.
Kagachijin's my personal favorite. So.
Sorry.
Not super bright. Yeah, keep it dark. No, darken it.
I'm trying to figure out how this works.
Go down. Thank you. Oh, darker. Ashley, open the lights up.
So this is
Up.
It's technically considered the Gaiden chapter's side story, but kind of
Right in the lights.
Huh?
Lighten the lights. You just had it, and you're standing right there. Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Okay, so the guy right there with the sword is Gijiri.
Okay, so basically, in the eastern continent, Asia, there's these two villages called Jakotsu and Konohana. Konohana is like this nice, extravagant place, and Jakotsu is like this, basically like
A rundown slums.
yeah. And because there's these two types of they're both human race, but there's the Kagachijin and the Yamajijin. The Kagachijin are all these people born with a snake on their back, and they're considered impure, and so they're basically discriminated against by the Yamajijin, and they live in this awful place, Jakotsu here. So one day, so Gijiri, he's a Kagachijin, and one day he sees this Yamajijin family, and they come over. There's a bridge between Jakotsu and Konohana, and so this family comes over from Konohana to Jakotsu, and so yeah, sees their daughter sitting by the tree, and she's all beautiful and someone like this. So he goes up. He's never seen anyone like this.
He wants to go say hi.
Yeah.
And the dad, saying it.
Yeah, he's a Kagachijin though.
Yeah,
so it's
and
like,
so-
get away from my daughter.
Yeah, it's like you're impure, don't come near her.
Yeah.
You
and so
poor boy, stay away
Gijiri's
from
own
my
father
rich
is, like,
girl.
saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'll teach this kid a lesson. He beats his own son.
And at the time,
Gijiri doesn't understand at all. He doesn't understand why would I be different from her. We're all the same.
We all bleed
He
the
doesn't
same color.
understand the discrimination.
Yeah. But the Kagachijin, they're kind of like, they accept their position. They don't do anything
And he's
about
like-
it. They're just like, it's just the way things are.
And he's like, oh, that's why things are. I'm going to try and become like a better person. I'm going to.
he wanted to overcome it basically, so he tried to become the best that he could.
Yeah.
And he did that. He became a very talented swordsman, and he became talented in almost every field possible for him.
And
However, it wasn't enough.
he goes over and just try and talk to Nisukui again. He's like,
Yeah.
Which is the little girl.
yeah, that's the girl away.
So he
You're
goes
right
to
there.
her to say like, hey, I'm more refined now. And basically she actually doesn't really know the difference between Kagachi and Yamajijin, just that they're, living in slummy places.
Yeah, and then her father comes along with like, here,
Yeah.
they have this mark
And
on their
then-
back. And then she pretty much says, oh, get away from me, you impure Kagachi.
Yeah, attitude totally changes, even though she's like, oh,
Yeah,
hey,
just because they
it's
have
it's like, oh, ew, it's you.
And now, Gijiri doesn't take this very
Right.
well. And
No, it
there's,
doesn't like
um,
screams heard the next town's over.
Yeah.
He's like, something
Yeah.
just needs to be destroyed. And he basically,
he
She's
kills
in
everyone in
Kobo.
Jakotsu.
he
burns
burns his
everyone.
whole
says that,
village and
like-
kills everyone.
And he says like, it's
I'll be
their
there after this panel.
He says, he calls,
Yeah.
shame the Kagachijin.
Yeah.
So he slays them all, and then he goes off with his friend Iminawa,
Yeah.
who she loves.
That's Ito is the
And-
reincarnation.
Okay,
That's
let's
really
not explain
no. I was
that.
gonna say
Oh.
that it's a side story and not gonna go into that.
Yeah,
don't-
we're not going to go deep into the side stories right
Yeah.
now.
Okay, I'd
And
love
that's
that.
the basics of that thing. And when he went crazy, the snake opened up in his right eye, and it
Swallowed
gave his
him.
eye special powers, kind of. They can see.
Because the Kagachijin, they all have
See
like
into the
these-
future.
these
know.
dormant special
That'd be cool.
powers.
He can kind of like, he can
Right.
see like people's true names.
Yeah, that's what the
I
like
mean,
the
that
movies
sounds
on
anticlimactic,
people's
but it's actually
heads
pretty
in the
cool.
PVs. It's like their true names.
Your eyebrows are really red. I want to touch that.
Okay.
Keep it a peach.
Wait, this is who I'm cosplaying, by the way. It's
Yeah,
Ito.
that's Ito.
So yeah, Gijiri and his friend Ito, well,
Says
they
when
go off and they're trying to like find the origin of the Kagachijin. Why do they have these snakes on their back? Why do they have these
So, yeah.
powers?
And they basically, they perform experiments inside this place called Wenkamui.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they go back. He forms this whole group called Sazaragi. They're a bunch of basically Kagachijin trying to figure out what's their origin.
And Gijiri leads them, and they go around the world looking for
The origin.
clues and artifacts and such things.
They go where?
And there was a big outbreak in Wenkamui, and basically a lot of crazy Majin, which would translate to demons, kind of.
Majin or
Go crazy.
Kagachi?
Basically,
they're exposed to this.
We don't want to go deep into it.
I was gonna keep
Basically,
it
they went
super brief.
crazy, and then Ito gave his life to stop them.
They
And he
die.
seals it all off, and no one can then enter it.
Okay, if I have more, I'll explain this more at the end.
Wenkamui
There's
gets
a lot
really in
of it.
depth, so we're just kind of trying to skim over it really quick. It does not have
It's
a
my
DJ
favorite
set.
part, but yes, it has a really awesome song. And
Chronologically next
we're
would be
skipping.
Turi.
No. Turi, basically. Oh, okay, well, let's play the PB first.
This is my personal favorite PB.
Once again, it's my attack mirror. The art is gorgeous.
And it's not working for some reason.
Okay, I have.
After the panel.
Turi's on Restachio, so just pull up Restachio again.
Well,
Pull.
I have minus.
Wait, no.
Yeah,
Turi's on
that's it.
Restachio. You have my name.
That's okay.
Yeah, we get it.
Yes, we get it. Now, Jenna, next year you'll be doing that since you're small enough.
Jenna running around in panties, so no joy.
Okay, so
We can wax you. Waxing is
so
fun.
basically, well, when the Restachio came into the world, it's pretty much causing chaos all over, and so the tree grew on this island. It's a giant tree that grew pretty much to balance out the whole flow of energy.
Yeah, flow of the universe type.
And under tree, there was 10 people called the People of Stars. They're pretty much genderless, willless. They're basically like how the 8 races were before the Restachio. And there's always 10.
Always 10. And,
So if one dies, one's already automatically
yeah, so like the
reborn.
oldest one dies,
Yes,
and then
Every
everyone
1.5 years, there's a ceremony, which is Pontere.
the oldest one basically drowns himself in
That's Malchut.
preparation for the newest one.
So in the story, Malchut is the oldest one. That's why she was in the water, you know.
So,
But Kukaru
Yeah.
saved
so
her.
Kukaru, he's
Sazaraki was there.
So now there's technically.
Kukaru-
So like,
Oh.
the
The guy
guy when
that-
she was
the guy on the far right. She's
Hold up, Jenna.
Okay, I was saying that the guy on the right, that's Kukaru, and you know, in the PV you showed him grabbing her out of the water. They were doing that drowning ceremony thing. He saved her, thinking, "Oh no, drowning girl," and technically he destroyed the flow of the universe.
Yeah.
To keep
Yeah.
it short.
By saving her, he broke balance basically, and it's causing chaos
It's gonna
to go
go-
out of
yeah.
whack even more.
so
Wow, no Snickers for you.
I mean,
And Kagaru was there. He works for Gijiri and Sazaragi. This is how many years after Wenkamui?
gosh, Wenkamui is.
A rough estimate.
Don't
Estimate.
think about it. Too
it's
About
like
100 years.
1,500.
100? That's
Yeah,
not a
I think quite a
number.
bit. Gosh, decreasing mortality. Okay.
About 50 to 100 years after.
This is a lot
Wenkamui.
later.
Yeah, it's a lot later.
Anyways.
And he saves her, and he takes her back with him to Masinoa, which is where...
It's a country on the eastern continent.
Basically, it's where Gijiri's ruling from.
Is there a map somewhere?
Refrains explaining Gijiri.
Somewhere, but we don't have
We
one
should
on
have put
slide.
up a
Okay.
picture of the map. That would have been helpful.
And they
Or
take
just
her
draw a
back, and they
huge
teach her-
block
She doesn't know any
straight.
words at all. And at this point, when she was saved, she became a female. Her gender, she grew a gender.
We're not sure how,
Because
but
she was
because the
taken-
balance being broken.
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
taken out of...
She was taken out of the balance. Of
But I mean,
Then if
just
I was a
like
genderless person, I want to be a man.
female.
Turi's the only place not influenced by the Rostachia, so outside she can
Totally
use it.
isolated island.
It's weird.
So basically, she gets brought there, and they're teaching her like their language and all that stuff, and she's just living with them. And that's the basic for now.
Well, it doesn't have to pay rent.
Oh yeah, random tidbit. Turi people are like trees. The more rings they have on their body, the older they are. So
Yeah.
Malchut has a lot of
She has the weird
rings.
hair rings.
So.
Oh,
Next is raison d'etre, which, if you know, French is the reason of existence.
yes, thank you for translating. We're back. Again,
It's supposed to get my art.
oh, that hurt. Just for record, Jenna would have swarping down, you would have had a Toho panel.
Okay, so if you just in Speedy, there's the part where like Kikari's like standing in front of them. And Gijiri's pointing his sword at him. Trying to explain that. Basically, the Turi people, okay, Kikari's like, he's part Kagachijin, and they have a snake on their back. And the Turi people are basically poisonous to Kagachijin. And so, but Kikari's really close to Malchut, so it's always fun to stay by her. And Gijiri's really close to Kikari.
So basically, by being close to him, she was killing him slowly. And Gijiri wanted to stop that, so he
Wants to kill Malchut.
He went to a last resort trying to kill her, and Kikari stopped him, and he ended up accidentally killing Kikari.
So
Weird how things
Who would have
work
thought?
it's, yeah. And then shortly after,
How does that happen? How does that happen again?
it's really random, quite frankly. Basically,
a giant tree
just
destroys
destroys
Masinoa.
all Masinoa.
Like,
To cut it short.
Kikari's.
The best
Masinoa?
explanation we probably have is it's related to Malchut's emotional state, because she feels sadness when Kikari dies, and that was her first time
But
ever
no,
feeling
my
that
cup's
emotion.
behind. My
So-
bag's on the floor. Oh, yeah.
Then giant tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Kikari dies, it's pretty much when she truly gains her emotions. 'Cause she's originally emotionless tree person.
when
And
the
then-
giant tree pops up.
And then
Yeah,
as
and
the
then-
giant tree pops up, she hears a voice in her head.
Well, this is actually earlier. Oh. Yeah, She heard this voice
earlier, but that's when she gets told to go there.
Actually, that's never mind. Earlier, she was told basically by this voice by this a person called Elisha. She's called the embodiment of the Restachia's power, but we really don't know much about her. She's kind of mysterious.
She's an enigma, basically.
Yeah.
She's also called the Red Angel.
There are a lot of things in Zektbach where we just don't know anything.
Yeah, we just don't have much information on it.
She was told to go to the Restachia ruins.
And then she went there and she fought Elisha.
But she gets defeated, and she sleeps for 600 years.
Yay! Like Sleeping Beauty.
And now we're going to go on to explain the events that happened while Malchut's asleep. So basically all the chaos that the Restachia is called.
So, Shamshir.
She's like the only dark-skinned person in that box.
Don't worry, you have abs to do this next year.
I got the belly.
We'll get started.
Okay. This PD is not done by Maya, so
Sad face.
It's good.
Sad.
There will be more Maya.
Hey Ashley, go dim the lights. It's the second to last switch.
Lazy bum.
I'm not lazy.
Shamshir's dance the song is very good though. Good
Ashley.
Menu screens and stuff.
Second to last one. Yeah. Thank you. No, it's okay. Another Konami. I like how they're automatically on the top when you do this.
I think it's Shio that does this.
Shamshir. black person over there. Stay there. Yes. Yes.
But, okay, 2 seconds. The reason why she was dancing so much in the PV is because her martial arts style is like a mixture between dance and like swordplay, because her dad was a super epic, you know, like fighter warrior dude, and her mom was a really good dancer, so she combined them and pretty much became a boss, I guess, to keep it blunt.
What time is it? Okay.
11:36.
Okay, so
All right,
you
because
said
when it's
gestures.
noon, I gotta head downstairs to the people mover.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, because
So,
everyone's
Yeah,
at Kobo
yes,
because
there's a
they walked
Restache
here.
shard in her sword.
Okay, no, I didn't explain
You
the how she
can't
got
just
it.
jump into that.
I was just saying.
She was a general for the country of Azoga, right?
Azuga.
And it's stationed in the desert. And she was the best general, and she had a style of fighting called dance fighting, basically.
Battle
That's why
dance.
she's dancing like that. And she gets bored of it. Like, no one offers her a challenge. And then she hears a rumor from a bandit about a weapon inside of a cave. And so she leaves her country, well, she leaves her army to go and find this weapon. And during this time, another army tried to invade and
It
destroy
just
the
suddenly
city.
invade. I won't go
And
into detail.
she came back just in time with this weapon, and it has a shard of the Restasia in it from the original war. And so she basically, with her army of 300 against like something else, 10,000. Sounds like a movie.
This is like 300.
I don't know.
It's a magical number with so many zeros.
So she basically fights off that entire army, and then she's a hero. But her people are afraid of her at this point.
Yeah,
so
so-
she's banished from her kingdom.
Oh, she
regretfully.
senses death, and then she
Runs away.
They're gonna kill her, and then
And she runs away.
she's pretty much possessed by the Restache, kills a bunch of people, and disappears. And country else
Disappear.
falls after that.
Yeah. We're kind of running out of time, so we're trying to hurry a bit.
See, that's such an interesting.
Don't worry, when it's 15 Zeta, you can't even see that. So, for this part of the video, we're just gonna watch the whole entire panel list people who are here, since we can't see this.
This one has a brief part that's animated by the manga.
So, a reminder for Jenna, this video is something about Zeta.
That's the one that likes.
It's a lot about numbers.
It doesn't matter at this
This
point.
is like the math chapter.
No! School's
The only
haunting
time where
us.
math is cool.
Okay, never mind. Math is cool now. And the square root of pi is... Those are all numbers.
I feel like this TV is just one huge market. I'm sorry.
No, this is what your brain looks like. That's what my stomach looks like. Uh-huh. Alright.
There are Japanese subtitles on it. I mean, you would think, yeah, Japanese people understand Japanese, but it's actually in Russian. So
The song's in Russian, yeah.
yeah, so
Let's
that's
explain the story, okay?
But it's a Japanese person singing Russian, so.
Oh.
Let's explain.
Anyways,
We don't know enough Russian to know how bad it is.
Don't worry about it.
Alright.
yeah, but that's Sigma, you know, the giant
Okay,
memeplex
yeah,
person.
the memeplex, the Rufina, they created the memeplex.
Yeah.
Away. That's what she looks like. This lightning.
Leon, he's a mathematical genius. Pretty much, he solved the 7 hardest puzzles in the universe. Pretty much.
So that is why Abraham Lincoln has a
And
mustache.
she gives him all the knowledge of the Rufina's memeplex shape. So he's really smart, and she created him to be a transcendental being. So he's like part Rufina, part Humina, the 2 races that actually survived. And she tells him with this information to go and find the Ristachia's origin. The Rufina wanted to discover what is this thing.
Yeah, and so he goes, and he's pretty close.
He finds a tablet, and it's like, oh, it's kind of implying that, okay, the Ristachia might be from a different world, even possibly Earth. We're thinking. And then Shamshir shows up, and she's like, oh, I'm so sure that transcendental beings are going to bring disaster to the world, and she kills them.
So that's like...
Yeah, so the nice dancing lady kills the little boy.
She's awesome.
Oh.
No, so
Well,
close.
it's because her mind is possessed by the Ristachia.
Doesn't that sound familiar of 500 other storylines? Good looking lady kills little boys.
Blind Justice.
This is probably one of the most famous TV.
Blind Justice is the next video, which we cannot see because the lights are bright.
Well, not really. It's okay.
This is another Maya done TV. The artist.
And it's the one that's not working for some reason.
Okay, goodness, go
Give me
back.
fragments.
Okay, give her a couple of seconds.
Well, we'd have to change the DVD all over again. Why is it viewing?
It's faster to change. Are these nice high quality?
We're having
Having
some
some
tiny technical difficulty.
I don't understand why it's not playing videos properly.
No. So,
These are nice.
hey, after this, you guys want to head to Kobo with me?
That's where we were gonna
Okay, because I put these wigs on hold and I need to. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot this is all on camera too. So.
go. Yeah, Jeff's recording.
Blind Justice.
No.
Yeah, we actually were in bigger picture. Everyone can hear us talking to each other.
Yes, of course. Let's watch you guys some more.
Because I whisper next to a microphone. Sorry, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, technology here confuses us.
Blind Justice.
Yay!
This one's really good.
This. Oh.
looks really good. I like that one.
Blind Justice. Yeah.
Who was the artist again?
This is the story I know the least about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maya did do that TV. Yeah.
Okay, I really like that one. So.
Sorry.
Okay.
So basically, this story of Malchut and Nox, they're two twins born in the Holy Kingdom of Noglada, which is pretty much the biggest country of all Zektbach. It's on the main continent, and so they're. Okay, never mind.
Sorry, running out of time.
Nox is abandoned at birth, and he's taken by part of the royal guards. He adopts Nox and runs away, and then Malchut becomes the empress later on. And she's just a very kind, loving empress, but she's basically being manipulated by a group called Agiona, and that's why.
Basically, she's the empress, but she has no power or control. She's basically a mouthpiece.
And then there's Nox, who he ends up. She sends her. Malchut sends her dear knight Follow to the to find her brother Nox, because she hears about Nox and she wants to find him. And she's Malchut's the most pure, wonderful countenance, and
she's really kind, basically.
yes.
And she just wants to find her brother.
Yeah. And so she sends her knight.
Her brother, on the other hand.
Yeah, her brother Nox. He hates the kingdom because he blames them for his adopted sister's death. And he ends up finding out that Nox has formed an anti-Noglada alliance.
Basically, he forms a terrorist group against the kingdom. And he wants to get revenge, basically. And he hates his sister because she's the empress.
Two twins stuck on two sides of the war. It sucks.
Yep, and they fight, and stuff happens, and a lot of people die.
A lot of people die in Zektbach.
This is explained in a drama CD. I'd love to get into this, but we really do not have time to get into
Yeah, it's sad.
We only got 12 minutes.
Apocalypse. Ignore the name, we're going to watch Memento Mori instead. It's better. A lot better. Let's see.
Apocalypse.
Wait, they're just wanted right there.
Okay, fine, we can just play this version of Apocalypse.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
It's barely a
Apocalypse.
chapter anyway.
Memento Mori.
Rambling up stuff.
Okay, this is Apocalypse.
This is done by Shio. Not by. sometime in the Holy Kingdom of Malchut, there's this big plague that, there's a big plague, and they ended up sending everyone with it on a ship, and they ended up in the island of Valerian, and they found a spring there that pretty much cured them. And it's the Lordies.
It's a
Lord,
it's a word
I can't
in
remember what
French.
it's called.
It kind of weird though, I do not know why.
We're just confused
Yeah.
about the pronunciation.
Lordies, and that spring healed them all.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of people on this island of Valerian now. And then we have Anais, and she was born from a virgin mother. So she was considered the holy
saint.
the holy saint basically for people. And she'd bring them miracles and stuff.
Yeah, and she watched over them and listened to their pleas and everything.
Yeah.
And then one day she was praying at the lake that there were Unzin, the spring, and she heard, what did she hear? I can't remember. I
The
don't
voice
remember
of
the
God.
Yeah, the voice of God to her. And out in the spring she pulled a Rastasia weapon,
Yeah. This book, they told her like
Yeah.
these people are
impure. And then
They're
she kind of slaughtered them all.
More slaughter.
Yeah, more slaughter. Yeah.
More killing.
So she slaughtered all the people at the urging of her God and her headed thing, which is probably the Rastasia talking to her.
yeah.
And then she goes off on a boat to Noeglado. Yeah, she goes back to the mainland.
Specifically, she ends up in a place called Delia, but
Don't worry about it.
Okay, and I'll explain more about that. But,
That's chapter 7. There's no PV for it currently. It's called,
actually
There's a
yeah, it's very
it's on
nice.
popular music.
very
So.
excited. This
You can
goes
play it
back.
in the dealer's room.
Remember when Malchut, she went back.
Oh yeah, that's like the little button game. It's back there.
This is her after she wakes up.
Yeah,
She calls
She has
herself
a
Amelia,
strange
which basically means friend.
change of
Well, before she
appearance.
woke up,
It doesn't matter. Amelia, it's her name. And she wakes up and we don't really know much else currently.
It was really big.
We don't know a lot. We don't
A
know
lot of stuff in Zektbach is really big.
Amelia's people. Basically, these people living by this place called Izalnia, they found this lotus flower with a girl that kept saying, Amelia, Amelia, and they're like protecting it. And that's their leader, Sasha. She's the girl that doesn't have white hair.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And-
she wears, and she has white hair and she looks really good.
Sadly.
Amelia.
And then this is Memento Mori. I don't think we really
It's
have time
pretty
to play
much
it.
the PV. It's pretty much the same as Apocalypse. It's a different remix of Apocalypse, basically.
Yeah,
with a
it's
few
basically
different
the
pictures.
exact same thing.
And Memento Mori, well, it's not much of a chapter. Apparently, chapter 8, and we just have like a few.
We don't have much information
Yeah,
about it
like
yet.
we have just this little poem. I think I actually translated myself.
So if you want to read the poem,
Yeah,
you can
it's
read
just
it.
the random thing.
Um,
It's not much of
We
a
have
chapter.
about 5 minutes left, so is there anybody with any questions or anything? Comments maybe?
And there are people who came in like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I can answer a bunch of stuff
Yeah, we-
after outside. I'd love to talk to that.
Questions? We enjoy questions.
And the group stuff. And,
We can't go into that.
okay.
How much
We
time
don't
do
have
we
time. We have 5 minutes.
Okay. Well,
somewhat go into it.
The first
Can we
stuff-
just, we can be, okay.
there's stuff.
There she was created by that sexy dude right there.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Yoa,
Okay, this
he's
is a
my
lot of the
baby.
story that's really, really unclear to us. There's,
Yes.
it's basically been implied that Rastach is from Earth, and there's like these random
Flying
notes
ships.
like
and
pretty
memos.
Okay, pretty much a lot of times it's mentioned that like Rastachia and Yoa, then they came from another world and we think the world is Earth because it's, yeah, there's the boat.
Basically, it's implied that they come from Earth, and they came on a flying ship, which would probably be just like a spaceship.
Crashed.
Yeah, cool.
crashed
It's
on
very,
Star
very
Wars.
unclear now. It's
Yeah, we
like
don't
a
know
huge
much.
mystery.
We only
There's
have
just
theories, really.
and these weird writing.
And then there's Yoa. Sorry.
And then here's
I love
something. We have the Epic of Zektbach forum. You can find a lot of translations, just really cool people on there. And then this Zektbach site has a lot of the written stories. And actually, I think there's a link to the forums on them. It's created by the same person.
So
Okay,
any questions or comments?
Well, Jen and I, we also have a blog for Zektbach. She doesn't put it
Working
out.
right
That's
now.
I'm just saying that that's not out there and I'm sad. But
Anyway.
I wish I could have gone into detail about a lot of story, but
We only have an hour.
So
this is a really obscure series, and you
Yeah,
should
we're
check it
wrapping it
out.
up.
okay, yeah.
But yeah, you should check it out because we need more fans, and it's awesome.
Yes.
Well, I like it, and if you guys help me get started, I might get into it.
Well, thank you for coming.
Yep, thank you very much.
Such an obscure series, so I'm
Yeah,
happy.
even if you were only here for like 10
This is our
minutes.
first time running
Thanks.
panels,
Yeah,
so sorry those technical difficulties everywhere.
I'm really shy too, but.
Yeah, that doesn't help matters.